Let's see. Okay, that's weird. It didn't say. Okay, let me make sure. If you're joining me live on Facebook, feel free to say hello. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna mute that. All right, we will go ahead and get started. All right. Welcome back, my lovely listeners and beautiful souls, to another episode of Faith, Fitness, Joy. I'm your host, Rochelle Renee. I am a health coach and healer. And today we are diving into a topic that is very close to my heart, which is exercise, but specifically the numerous non-weight related benefits of exercise, the sort of non-scale, non-aesthetic benefits of exercise. So if you aren't already, make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow so you can catch every new episode. Also, make sure that you join the private Faith, Fitness, Joy Facebook group if you aren't in there already, so you can get all the extras on all things health of the mind, body, and soul. And last but not least, I am offering a free 30-day training program right now. It is worth well over $1,000. It is an incredible offer. And my way of showing love to all of you out there who are looking to pursue your own health and wellness. And so with that, you will be getting access to my trainer app. You'll be getting access to a nutrition plan and the Faith, Fitness, Joy Facebook group. So it's a great offer. It's a great way to kickstart your weight loss. You also get a free transformation session with me as part of that. So go check that out. There's a link in my bio. I will also include a link in the episode description for those of you tuning into the podcast. And I also will have this available on the YouTube channel as well. So check that out and get your application in so you can get on that. And let's go ahead and dive into today's episode. Again, we're talking about the benefits of exercise, and this is kind of in the vein of shifting the focus from one that I have tended to have in my decades-long, health and fitness journey, if you will, and decades of weightlifting and dieting and exercising, where I have often most of that time been motivated by looking a certain way, achieving a certain standard or weight. And I want to help you shift the focus from that to something more focused on your health and well-being. We often, get started with these exercise efforts, routines, what have you, because we want to lose weight, right? We want to look a certain way. And many of us often start with a certain weight in mind, or we have some other type of ideal in our mind in terms of physique and what we want to look like. But there are so many other benefits to exercising, which is what I am discussing in today's episode. Exercise can have an incredible impact on our overall health and well-being, in addition to helping us look our best. So let's explore 5 compelling reasons why exercise is so much more than just a means to change our appearance, if you will. So today we're going to talk about how exercise can boost your mental health, how it enhances our cognitive function, increases energy levels, promotes better sleep, and it is the fountain of youth. Now, I've been very open in this podcast over the years about what got me going. I have been dieting and exercising for 31 years. I started with an unhealthy obsession with being skinny when I was young. I really thought that this was the answer to ending, being bullied in school and all this kind of crud that I went through when I was younger around my weight. So I was about 14 years old when I started out with like my exercise and fitness journey, if you will. And being that when I started, that was in the mid 90s at the time, early to mid 90s. So at that time, it was all about the low fat diets, and cardio. That's what you did back then. So that's what I started with. When I was about 14 years old, I lost 40 pounds in about 4 months. And I did that by eating 7 grams of fat a day and using my mom's ancient exercise bike that she had still from when I was a kid. So that was my sort of entrance, if you will, into exercise. And then through my high school years, I tried all these other different forms of exercise that would come and go, over the course of that time. I was really fortunate in the high school that I went to. We had this amazing teacher. She was just awesome. And she did like these jazzercise aerobics types of workouts, and she would play all these old 80s songs. She had like this record player. I'm totally dating myself, but she had this record player, and she would play all these songs from the 80s, which, of course, that most of us in that class, we'd been 80s kids in the 80s. So it was like all of these songs we loved growing up. And it was just so much fun. So she really had this amazing way of making exercise fun. And so I will always just have fond memories of her for that reason. And so I was able to get to be in that class for 2 years during high school. For whatever reason, you couldn't get in her class if you were a freshman. So anyway, that was another form of exercise that I did when I was in high school. And then after high school, I moved on to Taibo. So some of you might remember Billy Blanks, I think is his name. I can never remember if it's Billy Banks or Billy Blanks, but he kicked off the Taibo Rage, and it was like the kickboxing workouts, and that was also super fun. And it was like all the rage in the later 90s, early 2000s. So I started with that at that time. And then eventually I finally ventured into weightlifting when I was about 21 years old. So, and then at that point on, when I finally got over, all the misconceptions and myths that I held on to about why I shouldn't lift weights, I really fell in love with it, and I've been doing it ever since. So with the exception of my pregnancies and those early years after having each of my kids, I have really been very consistent with exercise over the course of my life. It's something that's always been a part of my routine. Um, Again, though, while my motivation was always kind of like weight loss or achieving a certain ideal for, the vast majority of the time that I was doing this, I have found numerous benefits beyond the aesthetics or what the scale says or whatever, to exercising. And in fact, these are actually the things that have come to keep me going in recent years in particular, beyond like wanting to look a certain way or wanting to maintain a physique or a size or anything like that. I mean, yes, those are obviously benefits of exercise, but I feel like we can easily get really wrapped up in those things and lose sight of these other benefits that are far outweigh, how you might, how you look on the outside. And like I said, when you can kind of shift your focus to these, it really helps keep you going, because that motivation is gone in like really, really fast. It does not stick around. Again, I've been doing this for decades, and I would not say I've had like this abundance of motivation the entire time that I've been doing it. There's been other things that have kept me going and kept me doing this. And that's what we're going to get into a little bit today. So let's get into some of these other benefits of exercise outside of aesthetics. So the first one is that exercise will boost your mental health. It is not just for your body, obviously. It is also a very powerful tool for your mind and your mental well-being. Research has consistently shown that physical activity, exercise can help reduce symptoms of depression, anxiety, and stress. And I can personally testify to this. I have overcome years of depression and anxiety. I used to have panic attacks, and I battled depression off and on over the course of my life. And I have overcome that with exercise and good nutrition. So I can definitely attest to this. What happens is when we exercise, our brain releases endorphins, right? Which is like a feel-good neurotransmitter. And so it's like a natural mood lifter that our body produces when we're exercising, and it leaves us feeling happy and more relaxed. I always think of that line from Legally Blonde whenever I talk about this, where she's like, exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. And happy people just don't go around killing their husbands. They just don't. And it's true. It does. It really makes you feel good. It really helps with your mood. So there's many mental health benefits to exercise. The second thing is that exercise can also help enhance cognitive functioning. So it's kind of like a superfood for the brain. When we exercise regularly, it actually helps improve our memory, it improves our focus, and our overall cognitive functioning. All things that are very important to maintain and keep alive and well as we age. It also promotes the growth of new brain cells, and strengthens neural connections, and that can help with basically staving off the effects of aging when it comes to cognitive decline. A third benefit of exercise is that it helps increase energy levels. And this may seem counterintuitive, and when you're first starting with an exercise routine, it can also kind of feel like it at first. But expending that energy through exercise actually boosts your energy levels in the long run. It helps to improve our cardiovascular health and circulation, which also increases oxygen flow to all of the different tissues in our body. And all of that contributes to us feeling more energized, and alert throughout the day. Exercise also helps to promote better sleep. So if you struggle with sleepless nights, or if you have a hard time falling asleep at night, also something that I have struggled with a lot over the years, exercise can definitely also help with that. So when we are doing regular exercise, it helps improve our overall sleep quality, and it helps us sleep longer, or stay asleep through the night. It can also help regulate our internal clock, so that it can lower feelings of anxiety, it can reduce stress, and it helps promote relaxation. And it just makes it easier for us to drift off into a more restful sleep. So that is another benefit of exercise. And last but not least, in fact, this is probably one of the biggest ones, exercise is the fountain of youth. You may have heard people say this. You may have heard people refer to exercise as the fountain of youth. And that's because it is. It like literally is. Research has shown that exercise actually slows down the aging process in our bodies. And it can also help with lowering the risk or preventing a number of chronic diseases. In addition, or on the flip side of that, if you will, if you have certain chronic diseases, it's actually a great way to help manage chronic disease, and the symptoms of chronic diseases. I have known people who, through diet and exercise, have eliminated or improved their diabetes. Like, so they've been able to get their blood sugar regulated. They've been able to go off medications necessary for that. I've known people who've been able to go off blood pressure medication, because of, taking up an exercise and routine, and also, being mindful of what they're eating, and just improving their overall health and well-being through consistent exercise and good nutrition. So, that is huge. And we don't really hear about that a lot. So I just feel like that's just one of these amazing benefits of exercise. It's also something that can help with various chronic diseases that cause chronic pain, things like fibromyalgia and arthritis. As counterintuitive as it can seem, maintaining a good exercise routine can also help mitigate those symptoms. It can help at least alleviate some of that, and just make it more manageable for people. It also helps your body in a number of other ways. So it can help keep your bones strong. It obviously helps keep your muscles strong, and it helps keep you agile and mobile, right? So it's a good way to help with fall prevention. It's a good way to help if you do, happen to fall down or something like that, you can recover faster. You can avoid, things like breaking bones or serious injury, if you are maintaining your strength through things like exercise. So it's a great way to get a lot of other benefits and maintain your youthfulness, beyond just looking a certain way. And like I always say, establishing and maintaining a solid exercise routine is literally investing in your future. It's investing in your health and your longevity. Um, uh, for all these other benefits and reasons I've mentioned before. But as I get older, and now that I have my kids, I just think about it a lot, and I don't want to have them end up in a situation where they have to like take care of me, or where I can't be independent as long because of health issues or things like that. And I mean, I know life happens and things, happen, but this is one of those things that we can control with establishing a good exercise routine and maintaining other healthy habits and establishing a healthy lifestyle. So, um, there you have it, friends. Those are 5 of the benefits of exercise beyond, how you might look in your swimsuit, or whether you can, the scale shows you a certain number. I mean, yes, those are awesome too. But I just wanted to highlight some of these other things that are beyond that for you, and help kind of shed light on some of these other things that benefit us by having a regular exercise routine. Prioritizing your health and well-being is so much bigger than just looking a certain way. And when we focus on the bigger picture kind of benefits of how we eat and maintaining a good exercise habit, we can actually, have our greater health for a longer period of time in our lives, and we can have a more fulfilling life because we're healthy. Just I've learned not to take health for granted. I have, just lost a number of people in my life for various health reasons, and also just some unexpectedly because they didn't see it coming, and others, just having, something like cancer or something like that. So, um, it's just really important to do whatever you can to maintain your health. So, the other reminder I have for you is to just remember that you are capable and you are worthy of and deserving of a healthy, vibrant life. So here is to your journey to becoming your healthiest, happiest self. And I hope that you have found this helpful with sharing some of these 5 benefits of exercise beyond just the aesthetics. So, as always, thank you for tuning in today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review, or share this podcast with your friends and family if you think that they would find this beneficial. And as always, keep moving, keep nourishing your body and your soul. And I will see you all in the next episode on Wednesday.